Now, you weren't actually involved in the Kennedy investigation directly, were you, or were you?
Yes, not until 1998, when Kennedy Assassination Record Review Board contacted me to review some documents. That's how I got involved.
And what documents in particular did they call you?
Basically, the Prudhoe film and the autopsy protocols and autopsy picture and some original documentations.
Did you find any glaring discrepancies with the Warren Report's findings?
Well, unfortunately, when we look at the documents, some of the original documents disappeared, gone. For example, original scene pictures, autopsy pictures. So we saw quite a few, just a copy, Xerox copy of the original photograph. Therefore, we can't really make any additional observation to say one way or other Warren Commission report was wrong or correct unless we can see actual evidence. Subsequently made some recommendation such as conduct DNA analysis on bullet and bullet fragment, to do photo enhancement, whatever remaining photo they have. Prudhoe film, of course, to freeze frame and make some additional hard copy of the picture people can evaluate.
So basically you felt that the evidence that they gave you was inconclusive?
The evidence they give it to me, I cannot make a judgment on one way or other. That's why we often talk about this. Any criminal investigation, we have to base on information. Information can come from the crime scene, can come from physical evidence, witness statement, and data mining. In this particular case, Kennedy assassination, we don't have a crime scene left anymore. By 1998, it's all gone. Original documentation is incomplete. We don't have any major piece of physical evidence we can re-examine. Of course, this afternoon, I'm going to make some additional suggestions. They are, in fact, still have some evidence available. Witness, they interview so many times. I've been in forensic and criminal investigation almost 45 years. Witnesses, it's important, but witnesses' statement often can be misleading too.
How do you feel as a professional, looking back at Dallas, November 22nd, 1963, how do you feel the crime scene was handled?
Of course, now use our standard today to judge 1963. Did not handle correctly. All the mistake been made in that case. Evidence picked up before any photograph was taken. Evidence did not put in the evidence bag and put in somebody's pocket. Then partial evidence was turned in. Partial kept as a souvenir. Weapon, if the process, the weapon, they should document what kind of a chemical used and what procedure used. Anything developed should photograph. Now without this complete record, it's like a pissing contest. You can interpret the data one way or another way. You can say that's a conspiracy, somebody intentional lying, or you can say careless handling things. So that's why we learn crime scene is so important. That's why we set up a national crime scene technology center at New Haven to train people to handle the scene properly so we don't repeat the history, the mistake.
So do you think it was just blind incompetence and not a conspiracy to clean the Lincoln, to move the boxes in the school book depository, to pick up the rifle, to all these things that were, it seems almost inconceivable that everybody could be orchestrated to destroy the evidence.
Right.
I mean, to me, that seems almost as impossible.
It's kind of each individual's action can be seen incompetent or lack of training. But when you add it together, you say, is somebody behind this? And of course, this is something, hopefully, if all the record released, some people can really spend the time and try to pieces together instead of let the emotion drive the direction. Let's use logic to resolve the issues. There's so many different theories, but unfortunately, I think they misidentify theory and hypothesis, and they call that a theory. What I consider those are hypotheses. It's healthy to have different hypotheses. Everybody have different thought based on their own information. A theory is something has to prove and has to be correct. Then we call theory. So far, we hear all these competing hypotheses, really lack of any physical evidence to support one hypothesis versus another. Of course, we also heard Lee Oswald has nothing to do with the case. That's again another hypothesis. It's kind of interesting and healthy. I think this kind of meeting we shouldn't point the finger, say who is right, who's wrong. It's a learning exercise. Hopefully we can learn more about the fact, scientific fact, then try to prove all those hypotheses, see which one is more viable. I always say if one can eliminate all those impossibles, for example, 10 shot, 12 shot, come whatever remain, it's more probable.